Hi, my name is Madi Schimmel, and today I will be informing you on the statistics of domestic violence. Did you know that on average, 20 people per minute are physically abused by an intimate partner in the United States? That's about 1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men. Believe it or not, domestic violence actually affects the economy. For example, if a man is abused by his partner and has visible wounds or bruises, he may call into work, and if he does that too much, he may be fired, which in turn could result with him being put on unemployment or even losing his home. Physical, mental, sexual, and reproductive health effects have been linked with intimate partner violence. For example, with higher domestic violence levels, HIV and STD cases also rise. After continuous research, I have learned the statistics about domestic violence, how it affects everyone, and why it needs to be stopped. By better understanding the statistics of domestic violence, we can help recognize and stop it. The National Coalition Against Domestic Violence shows that signs of abusive behavior are telling you you never do anything right, showing extreme jealousy when you want to spend time with friends or family, preventing or discouraging you from spending time with those people, insulting, demeaning, or shaming you, especially in front of other people, preventing you from making your own decisions, controlling finances in the household without discussing it with you, pressuring you to have sex or perform sexual acts you're not comfortable with, pressuring you to use drugs or alcohol, intimidating you through threatening looks or actions, insulting your parenting or threatening to harm you or your children or pets, intimidating you with weapons like guns, knives, bats, or mace, and destroying your belongings or your home. The National Coalition Against Domestic Violence suggests creating a safety plan to escape domestic violence. You should identify your partner's use and level of force, so how often they harm you or your children or your pets or destroy things in your home, and know how bad it usually gets. Then identify safe areas in your residence, rooms with locking doors, specifically more than one lock. Have a phone accessible at all times if it's safe, and know what numbers to call for help. There are hotlines, obviously 911. You can call family members. Let trusted friends or neighbors know about your situation, if it's safe. Talk to others living in the residence to get help. You can even talk to children, because if they don't fully understand everything that's happening, it could severely harm both of you in the long run. Create several plausible reasons for leaving the house. So, we ran out of milk, I had to go to the grocery store. We don't have bread for me to make your lunches this week. Practice how to get out safely. Almost like fire escape methods. Plan a meeting place for all the people that are being abused in your home. Have a plan set out, but not on physical copies of anything, so the abuser cannot find it. Plan for what to do if your partner finds out about your plan. Unfortunately, when many domestic violence victims execute their plan of escape, it does not always end well. If possible, keep weapons like guns and knives locked away. Be mindful of how clothing or jewelry could be used to physically harm you. So rings, necklaces, things like that. Back your car into your driveway when you get home and keep it fueled. This is probably one of the most important ones, in my opinion. Because as long as your car is backed in, you have pretty much an easy way to escape, especially if it's fueled. If violence is unavoidable, make yourself as physically small as possible, and make sure to protect your head. The National Coalition Against Domestic Violence says that there are 8 types of abuse: physical, emotional and verbal, sexual coercion, reproductive coercion, financial abuse, digital abuse, and stalking. So, now I have informed you about domestic violence and its statistics. It's a very serious issue, and many men and women every day are affected by it, and it needs to be stopped. We can do this by ending victim blaming. We can do this by having more law enforcement type people take domestic violence calls more seriously, because in a lot of cases, domestic violence happens when the abuser is in law enforcement. That's very common. And so the people who are being abused when they call aren't usually believed, which is very wrong. And so the case is dismissed almost immediately, and they don't get any help. Well, thank you for listening to my speech, and that's all.